Hey, that's what's up, man. As
I'm
long as
just
we
kidding,
treat it
Lucy.
right, it's all good.
All right, man. So yeah, like for those who don't know Elquan, my man, right over here. We're gonna go ahead and ask some questions. First question I wanted to ask you is how long have you been in this music game?
How long, man? I would say like taking it serious because we ain't gonna talk about high school, middle school, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get straight to the seriousness point. And I would say since taking it serious since about 2005. You know what I mean? A cool 16, 15 years. And starting off just kind of learning song structure, learning stage presence and getting my kind of my style together and all of that into now, you know what I mean? All them years though, so you can see that it takes time to develop. It's not definitely not an overnight thing. That's why I trip out sometimes when people say they just gonna start rapping tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see how that works for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can
So
start. You got to start like
yeah,
everybody else.
you can
Everybody else
start,
is smart.
man. But they'll find out it's not an easy road. People think
Hmm.
it's just so easy, but yeah, about 15 years, man. That's how long I've been at it.
Right. What inspires you though? Like what inspires you? Because I know how the game changes so much and the behavior of the industry can, even from 2005 to 2009 to 2010 to now, all different games. What keeps you inspired in spite of that?
Just the growth in the industry, you know what I'm saying? The new sounds, there's always something to learn and the music should be growing with you, you know what I'm saying? Like your image, your style, what you're talking about, all that should be growing with you. And it's exciting to keep on reinventing yourself. You know what I mean? Like from when I began, I was a totally different artist, different style, talking about different things, living a totally different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And then now, you know what I mean? It's a totally different style, different sound. You know what I mean? I've elevated a lot, you know what I mean? So um it's just what keeps me going is just seeing a lot of OGs in the game too that I've been watching since I was a kid and since I was younger, still going to this day. You know what I mean? Still pushing, still rocking. It lets me know that no matter how old you get, there's a lane for you, and and you can still create, and it can still be cool, as long as it's maturing with you. As long as it's not like some 40-year-old rapping about, like some old young guy type shit, some crazy type shit. It has to like coincide and like make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
So, basic question, in the chat, they want to know, some people don't already know that we are speaking to the real Elquan, and they want to know, how do we find you? Like, how do we find you on social media?
oh shit, real Elquan So 100 is the Instagram. So if you active on there, you can find me on there. Real Elquan So 100. Uh, the Twitter. I mean, basically, just type in Elquan on Google. I'm at the top of Google. You know what I mean? And all my stuff goes down from there. So if you type in Elquan on Google, I'm front page, top page, Twitter, from Twitter to Instagram to my blogs to my YouTube, all of that.
Nice, nice. And on Twitch, you are what? Real Elquan So 100?
Yeah,
Is that
Twitch
correct?
is real Elquan So 100. I gotta get more popping on here, man. Come rock with y'all a little bit more often on here because
I'm
it
telling you,
seems
this
like
community
it's
is where it's at. This
yeah,
community is where
it
it's
seems like
at.
it's an active platform, man. It seems like it's active for sure. I see.
All right, so buckle down. Back to the questions, El Quan. So, what artists do you look up to? Who do you look up to?
Man, for one, I for sure look up the Currency, man. That's one of my favorite, from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like he was the one that got me like really like knowing that, I don't necessarily have to step out of my ordinary or my actual self to be cool, you know what I'm saying? And to be marketable and to be like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like he showed me like, bruh, you can be Elquan, do things that Elquan likes to do, make the music that Elquan likes to make, and still be cracking. You know what I mean? So he's my number one inspiration, bro. Like number one. I got my producers from him. I got you know, a lot of game from him, the grind from him, you know, a lot of shit. You know what I mean? So that would be one I would definitely just off top bring up.
I'm just curious, you know, going off that. I wonder, like, well, how did you meet? What was his name again?
Who?
Your inspiration was
Currency?
his name? Currency. How did you meet Currency?
Oh shit. I met Currency years ago. Uh my boy Young Hef at the time. Shout out to Purple Crown. They used to be like a promoters out here putting together shows. And they had Currency come out. My boy Young Hef got to open up for him and he needed a hype man. And I'm like, for who? He like Currency. I'm like, say no more. I'm there. What you need me to do, baby? You know what I'm saying? So you know, I get up in that thing. You know, I'm not the number one act in that thing, but you got to maximize on any opportunity that you get. And with the camera, you can always switch it and make it about you, even though it's not about you. You know what I'm saying? So I had my cameraman come through and I made it a So 100 episode. I used to do these episodes, which I'm finna start doing again. They're called you know, the So 100 episodes or Team So 100, Team So 100 episodes, just kind of just showing like the grind and you know just me on a day to day and getting to know me. But long story short, man, I got to link up with him backstage. You know, we got to chop it up. He shouted out my brand on video. You know what I mean? And that's a time that I'll never forget in my life, man. You know, that was awesome.
That's dope. That's dope. You know, what I really want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat want to know, is what are you working on now? What kind of projects do you have working right now?
Oh, right now, baby, November 4th, Smoke Hoes and Lolos, man. New album, you know, about 10, 11 songs on there. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's what I'm pushing right now, this instant. That's all you see on my page. That's all you see me talking about. Uh, it's a great album. It's well put together. You know, it's an album that was took about a year to put together, but it's definitely well invested for sure.
That's interesting. Who helped you produce it though? Like who made the
Oh man,
beats?
I got the legendary DJ Fresh, man, from the Bay Area. Uh,
Ah,
Grammy nominated award producer, you know what I'm saying? Great guy. I got Baylor Beats on there, you know what I'm saying? He's from Vegas. I got Complex on there, producer, he's from Vegas. Uh, and I got Tayville on there. He's from Roanoke, Virginia. But mostly produced by Fresh though. Mostly all the songs are produced by Fresh.
so my question after that is actually, where did you meet DJ Fresh? When and where?
Well, I didn't actually physically meet him. It was just like I say, just from following Currency, following his blueprint. You know, his beats always be slapping, his production always be crazy. So I'm like, who is this? I always look into who produced what. You know, I don't just listen to something and don't look up the producer. I got to know who made that beat. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that him and Currency had did a tape together. I was rocking with the sound heavy, you know what I'm saying? I started looking more into DJ Fresh, and he just so happened to produce for Wiz, E40, all the Bay Area artists, you know what I'm saying? Like G Perico, Jay Worthy, you know, a lot of the newer West Coast cats coming up, and reached out to him on Instagram. He wrote back, and it was all she wrote from there, man. You know what I mean? Shot the email over, and it was a wrap. You know, he's been sending me beats ever since.
That's dope. That's dope. And I'm sure sometime soon you're definitely going to meet him, you know, in transit. I'm sure that's
Yeah,
going
I
to
hope
happen.
so, man. I tried to meet him when I shot the Phantom Girl video in Frisco. But his studio's in his house, you know, just like you got your shit at your house, you know what I mean? You want one niggas coming to your house in the studio, you know what I mean, where you got all your stuff at, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah, he wasn't too comfortable with that. But hopefully we link up though soon.
Got you, got you. Um, so I want to know is like how long, how much time do you actually put into your music? Like, are you just the type of person that just gets up and say, I'm just gonna jump in the studio and just start like recording, or is there like a process? I want to know about that. Tell me about your process.
Man, my whole process first is the beat. Like I gotta have some kind of beat that makes me want to write something or that gives me a time or makes me think of a time to talk about something. You know what I'm saying? Like so it starts with the beat. First, I get the beat, you know what I'm saying? And then before I even purchase the beat, if it's not custom made, I'll already start writing to the beat to see how the potential of the song could be before I invest into buying the beat. Because a lot of times I buy my beats exclusively. I don't I don't rent any beats out or what do you call that or just
Lease them.
lease them. Yeah, I don't
Right.
lease any beats and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't do that. So I just make sure the song is has some potential. I got something to it. Once I got that, I'll buy the beat and then holler at my boy and go record it. But that process could take anywhere from a week to a couple months, uh depending on the song, depending on the mode of what I'm going through in my life and what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to make sure that I'm putting everything into each bar and that the song like it goes together smoothly from the beat to what I'm talking about to how it's put together from how I'm saying it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm my hardest critic, man. And sometimes I feel like that process could be a little quicker and I feel like I could be a little bit more consistent on the time that I'm spending on each song. That way, it can get done quicker. But
Mhm.
I take my time, man. I'm one of those guys that, I'm not gonna just hop in the studio and rap and make a song that night. You know what I'm saying? Like I did it with Far Away though. Don't get me wrong. I did a couple songs like that. But for the most part, I like to take my time and just write them and shit.
Right. I do remember earlier you had said something about how you changed your style. Now, like for those who don't know, I've heard your style before, and I want to understand like you changed your style. I guess I would like to ask how and why. Why did you do that? Like, was it like did you
Well,
just like what you were doing? Did you feel like what you're doing wasn't organic enough, or what was it?
Well, it was a thing of like, the style comes with whatever's going on and how I'm feeling in that at that time in life. So my first album, Far Away, when I put that out, you know what I'm saying? I had my first son, you know what I mean? So that's like a big transition in life. I had just got married and then turned around and then got divorced. So that was a big transition, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, in the church mode for a second. I was getting deep in there to the point where I almost wanted to like start like being a deacon or being some kind of pastor or something. I was just going through different phases in life trying to find my way. So I was expressing that organically and putting it out there in a way to where it was like, I didn't care if it sounded cool or not. You know what I mean? I was just like, organically putting stuff out there to feed my soul and to talk about what's actually going on in my life. You know what I mean? But the switch over was like, okay, everything's good now. My son's already 7. I've been married and been with my wife, and we got back together, by the way. And we've been back for like over 5, 6 years now.
That's beautiful, man.
Everything's
That
going
is
smooth. So
beautiful.
I'm happier now. I'm in more of a upper beat mood. I'm ready to party now. I'm ready to smoke now. I'm ready to have a good time, you know what I'm saying, and let loose. So that's kind of where this album kind of came from was the happiness and wanting to let loose, not be so serious, you know what I mean? But still be authentic and keeping it 100, but at the same time, let's have a little fun a little bit. Life's too short, you know?
Who am I talking to? Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
I mean, yo, we gotta keep it so 100, baby.
This guy, no, no, not to say that he was a bad person back in the day when we were younger. Like he wasn't this guy. This is the more mature, business oriented, just sharper, more strategic Elquan. This is
Yeah,
the real Elquan right here. The real
the real
Elquan.
deal.
You thought you were
No,
real back
no,
then,
no, no.
but no.
There's no mask, no fakery.
This is
The
the
real
real
deal.
Elquan right here.
Yes, sir.
No, I know I probably should have asked this question earlier, but I wanted to ask, where are you from? Because I know a lot of people don't know this. I know a little bit about this, but where are you from? Like
I was
originally.
born in New York City. It started in New York City for me. All my family uh, was there. You know what I'm saying? Then moms went from New York to Virginia, uh, and I was in Roanoke, Virginia, from middle school all the way to high school. And then right after high school, moms got married, moved to North Carolina, and I moved to Las Vegas. And I've been in Vegas since 2005. So. Uh, I rep Vegas, man. I'm from Vegas. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Vegas artist. I rep Las Vegas, Nevada. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting that on the map.
Well, that makes sense, man. And I appreciate that because, not a lot of people will actually represent their city, the city. And I really believe that where you're from is really, what they say is not where you're from, is where you're at.
Thank you. Thank you, man. I can't be gone from New York over 20 something years and still pushing some heavy, hard New York shit. Like, I mean, if I've been out here on the West and this is what I've been around and, this is what I've been vibing with and connecting with, and this is what it is.
Now, you said the name of your project. What is it called again?
Smoke Hoes and Lolos.
Okay, so we all know what a Lolo is. For those who don't know what a Lolo is, it's a lowrider. So my next question is, and I have to know this because this is what I don't know. I have to know. Do you own a lowrider?
Man.
And if you do, can I borrow it?
Yes, sir, you can. It's yours, my friend. But nah, bro. I don't own one. I wish I motherfucking did, man, but I didn't get into that culture until I moved over here. And my wife's family, they're super heavy into that culture. And that's just kind of how I got into it. And plus, Currency being my favorite artist, he's all about that culture. So I just find it real cool. And when I do got enough bread, I definitely plan on getting myself and my girl a Lolo for sure.
Oh, you definitely will do that, sir.
The lowrider community reminds me of like the hip hop community somewhat. You know what I mean? Because they all got something in common. It does incorporate music somewhat, lowriders and music, and they got they own shit going on. You know what I mean? They got their own thing going on. So I rock with it.
So I want to know, hey, are you on a label? Are you signed? Tell me about that. Are you independent?
Nah, bruh. No label. Nah, no label, man. I'm not signed. All my bread comes from Instacart and Uber and, all the gig work that you can think of. I'm out there grinding just like everybody else, man. So I just invest my cash into my family and my brand. And then that's it. It's slow motion, but hey, slow motion is better than no motion. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm not too much tripping about a label so much. I mean, it will be nice to have that extra push and that, that extra layup, but I'm cool with taking the longer route until somebody sees what I've already built and wants to be a part of that.
I like that. I like your attitude about that. That's important, having patience. There's a lot of artists out there, I work with some of them, some of these younger cats are just so impatient and they think that this is all about talent. And sometimes it's not about talent. Talent is really just secondary. Work will always beat talent. If you continue to work, we already know that you're talented, but that it's got to be more than that. And you have to be patient. So like I really respect that mentality, especially because you don't want to come off. And I
Hold
always
on,
like
we
to
got
say
a
this,
question.
you don't want to come off thirsty.
No, go ahead. No, we had a question
In the chat, what is the
the
question?
thing that says, "What's the dream label for you to be on, and why the choice of that label?" A dream label for me to be on. Um, I don't know, maybe Atlantic. Atlantic has had like a lot of great artists that have had some really good success from doing business with them. And it seems like they kind of let you, depending on the deal, they kind of let you have a little bit more leeway if you already got your shit already rocking and rolling. So it would probably be Atlantic, and it would be the leadway is why I would lean more towards Atlantic. And would I be willing to look at working with independent labels? Of course. Yeah, independent labels, they gonna let you rock. You know what I'm saying? Independent labels is definitely they're not gonna have any super hard stipulations on things, and you're growing with them. With an independent label, you're growing with them. So it's like, there shouldn't be any ulterior motives, and the excitement should still be there. You know what I mean? Because bigger labels, they're probably like, huh, we've been doing this for 50 years, young man. We don't give a shit. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, we don't care. But an independent label is going to be like excited about any win that we get, and, excited about any growth that happens with Elquan. So, yeah, I'd be down with that.
That's an interesting question. Oh, but to answer your question earlier, Queen B, the reason why I wouldn't rep Reno is how bad they disrespected me when I came here with my UNLV shit. So that's a whole nother. That's a
Ooh, can't be
whole
hating on
nother.
Vegas.
You can't be hating on the hometown. But to
Can't be
answer the
hating on the
question,
Bay.
to answer the question for Elquan, what would make you pass on an offer? Like
Oh, if I had to give up rights to every fucking thing, if I didn't have no more control, and um, if I had to give up rights to my stuff, then I'd be like, nah,
So do you feel like you
I'd
would
take a
like,
step
and
back.
I think, and I think it is in some cases, yes. I feel like in some cases it's good to give up rights to some songs because if you're a songwriter, I believe that you're gonna always have stuff up here, And I always say this to my
Facts.
my my daughter. I say this to my daughter. She's a writer and she's like she gets so emotionally attached to some of her songs. I'm like, don't do that because if Ariana Grande wants your song, you better sell it to her.
Right, right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because you can write another
That
one.
is true, man.
But yeah, I totally understand. You don't want them to take all of your rights. You need to have some freedom and you got to own something.
You gotta own something, man. You gotta own something, or else you might as well work a regular 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well work a regular job. Might as well be a job to you rather than a creative space and a peace of mind.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so moving forward, I know you had said that you worked with Dizzy Wright. What was that? What was that like? Like, was he cool? Like what was the process? I want to tell me about that whole situation.
Yeah, young Dizzy Diz, young Wright, man. The legend of Vegas is what they call him, because he's one of the only cats that have made it outside of Vegas, like as far as on almost on the mainstream level. But it was cool, man. He came through by himself, no entourage, no security, solo dolo, man. He actually lived right down the street from the location where we were shooting at. So, he was real, just laid back, down to earth. He smoked me out, gave me some pointers, you know what I'm saying? And the most thing that I really respect about him is that he didn't just give me a regular verse, you know what I'm saying? He gave me a verse that co-signs my brand, and shouting it out, you know what I'm saying? He could have talked about anything on his verse. He didn't have to mention So 100 and say that he's So 100, and what I mean, rocking with real niggas, da 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 da. He didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? But it was nice to ask him in person, like, what did you mean by that in your verse? What
Mm-hmm.
did you mean to shout my brand out? Like, did you mean to like do that, or were you just like, I don't know. But like he
Got
he
it.
said, yeah, I fucked with the song so hard that I felt like I was a part of So 100. Like I wanted to shout it out, and I thought that was real cool.
Right. So Queen B's got some more good questions. Number one, what is the brand? What is it? It's So 100. That's the name of the brand, correct?
Yeah. So 100 is the brand. So 100 Entertainment is the brand. And
Do you have a website?
it's So 100. She asked. Yeah, I got a website, so100ent.com. And that'll be up the middle of November. It's down right now. We got some rearranging that we're doing, some new merchandise we're getting ready to put out. So that'll be up next month for sure, for sure. But yeah, so100ent.com for sure.
Oh, I see DC Chill Brothers in the chat. What up, dude? I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming in. Another question she had asked
What it do? What it do?
Yeah. What is the meaning behind the brand? Like, what does So 100 mean? Like, what does it mean to you? What was the background? What made you come up with that name?
Okay. Yeah. So 100 is basically, I mean, the whole backstory of it was a group of guys. You know, my friend Tweez had a dream in North Carolina, and he was just like, "Yo, like So 100, you know, So 100 is the brand, So 100 is the name." And I'm like, "Damn, I fuck with that. That's tough." And he was like, "Yo, we should keep it So 100 with ourselves and everybody around us, and that should be the motto. You know what I mean? That's what we're gonna push." So I was like, well, that's very affordable because if we're keeping it So 100, I'm not rich. I'm not fucking balling. I don't have a bunch of this and that. And that means I don't have to invest in so much on my image to keep looking like that. You know what I mean? Like I could be me, I could be myself, I could be 100. So, I mean, it's a win-win. And it's just about keeping it real, man. At the end of the day, keep it 100.
Man, I respect so much. I respect that so much. Just that whole concept. There's so many rappers out there. They're too busy trying to keep up an image that is, number one, it's expensive to keep up an image, even if it's a fake image. You going out of your way to try to put on this persona like you already have it. And who can relate to that? I can't relate to somebody rich. Like I'm not going to spend $250,000 on a chain. Even if I had $250,000, I would not put it on a chain. I would buy some property. That's what I would do.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because then I can buy a chain.
There's no point in doing that. Right. And it's no point in doing that when you're up and coming. You know what I'm saying?
And don't get me wrong, I have chains
already. You'd be on.
Don't get me wrong, I have chains, but do you see me wearing them? Why am I wearing that? You know, the older I get, the more I'm like, I'm not bringing this chain with me. Like, if anything, that's just going to attract the wrong kind of attention. I don't need you know what chains do? They attract broke people.
Yep.
They attract people that don't got shit. I don't need flies on me. I need more bees.
Right, that's right.
I need more bees with honey. Man. Somebody's got something, you know, some sustenance. But yeah.
Right. Something that's going to make you more money in the long run, you know.
And that being said, like I said, like, you know, being a bit more seasoned in your career, like, how do you keep yourself, like, with all the shenanigans, how do you keep yourself going? You know, there's a lot of weird shit going on, you know, with what just happened recently, we'll do from the Migos. You know, I want to know your opinion on that, and how do you avoid these type of situations? What do you think? I just give me your opinion on all that.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Takeoff, man. That's really unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Migos was definitely some cats I rocked with for the longest, but how I kind of just stay away from that, or kind of like, you know, navigate through the bullshit, is just focusing on what's important and being in places that I know that's beneficial. You know what I'm saying? That I know that there ain't gonna be no bullshit, and there ain't gonna be nothing. Now you can't always gauge that. Bullshit could happen anywhere, but you can somewhat at a percentage gauge that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can somewhat put yourself somewhere or be around certain type of people, like-minded people, where there's no bullshit that's gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have nothing to prove no more. You know what I mean? Like I've already, you know, been in the streets. I've thugged it out. I've hustled. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been on my own for like since I was like 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? Without moms, dad, nobody. So um, I don't really have at 36 years old. I don't have nothing to prove. I don't have a chip on my shoulder to where it's like, I gotta prove to these people that I'm that guy, that I'm that nigga. I know I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to like show nobody that. I know what God has blessed me with and the gift that he's blessed me with. And I'm excited about it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm mindful on where I'm going and who I'm around. And at this point, like I'm not hesitant to cut somebody off if it doesn't align with what I'm trying to do or where I'm trying to go. So that's it right there. I think a lot of the cats they get so caught up in trying to prove something, trying to show that they don't give a fuck, that they still street, that they still in the hood, and the hood ends up taking you out, or that situation ends up taking you out. So yeah,
Yeah, I definitely like that was a very well seasoned answer because you could have gone a different
yeah,
direction with that, and I could have easily went a different direction, but that just shows your maturity right there, the way you answered that question. Um, Queen B has another question.
absolutely.
How do you keep up with the 20 somethings making music?
How do I keep up with the 20? Oh, like the 20 something year olds, like people that are 20 something years old.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't try to keep up with them because I feel like there's so many different lanes nowadays uh that there's a lane for somebody, you know what I'm saying? And every lane isn't the same lane for the next person. So the young person and not necessarily to say young people only rap like this. You got some young cats that are way before their time and that are spitting knowledge that I'm learning from. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I think it's just kind of hard to gauge the age thing with music. Music lives on forever, and it's hard to gauge it. It just depends on uh, what type of music that you're making, what type of music you grew up off of, what type of music you grew up listening to. You know what I mean? Because I'm before a generation that's before a generation of people that was listening to Bone Thugs and Nas and 3 6 Mafia, shit like that. Like a lot of these young cats didn't grow up listening to them, so you know, you could take it as an advantage or you could take it as an old nigga thing. I don't know, but
I have a
I,
question.
I
So
like
spinning
my
off of that,
position. I like yeah.
spinning off of that, my question is there anybody who is young in the game that you would like to work with?
Anybody that's young in the game that I like to work with. G Perico. I fucks with G Perico, man. He's from Compton. Um, and he's a younger cat, you know what I mean? And I fucks with G Perico because he's young and he's been through a lot of shit, but he's all about elevation. And that young nigga motivates the shit out of me because everything he's doing is built from something that he had to restart, you know what I mean, from obstacles and shit like that. And he's pushing it tough and he's pushing it hard. And, he's doing a lot of positive things too for his neighborhood and for his area. And, I fucks with him. That'd be a cat, a young dude I rock with.
All right. So going the other direction, if you were to work with somebody like an OG in the game, dead or alive, who would you like to work with? And you don't have to pick somebody dead. I'm just curious. Let's start with alive first. Who would you work with? There's an OG in the game that is alive.
OG in the game that I would work with that's alive off top would be Currency. I'd have to work. I know I've been saying his name through this whole interview, but I'm telling you, man, that man keeps me going. You hear me? I mean, and I feel like something with him would bring me to my peak of people that I even need to collaborate with after that point. After that point, it's just all like cherries on top. But if I get to the Currency, I get that feature with him. Man, you can't tell me shit, nigga.
You know,
You
I feel
can't
it.
tell me a goddamn thing.
I definitely feel that. Definitely, definitely. I could agree with that. That's kind of like how I feel about DJ Magic Mike. It's crazy, like just meeting him on the Twitch platform, like how random. Like I went from being a 9-year old kid listening to his cassette tapes, you know, to here I am, you know, in my 40s, and I find him on Twitch, and he's still doing his thing, still killing it, and we become friends on Twitch. Like, how does that even happen? How does it even happen? You know what I
Right.
mean? But it's the authentic, the when you fall in love with the style or somebody's ability, it's for organic reasons. There's nothing forced. It's not because he was the coolest guy and the coolest guy in the game. He was just something nostalgic about that connection, you know. And if you can
Yeah.
make that connection and actually work with the person, it feels that much better.
Oh my God. You ain't lying, dude. You ain't lying, man. You like that's how I felt about Dizzy. You know, for the longest time, I wanted to work with him. You know what I mean, and do a song with him. I've been seeing him in the Vegas scene for a minute. You know, seeing him all over online, and finally got that chance, and it was almost surreal. It's like, damn, I'm sitting here with this nigga doing a video. Like, we sitting here chopping it up, taking shots, doing the video. Like, you know, that's when you know you're in the right track, you're on the right path. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing the right thing, man. You on your way.
Well, cool. At this point, I think maybe we can open it up for anybody who has any questions in the chat. We'll give you guys a little time to ask some questions if there's
Talk to
anybody.
me, baby. Talk to me. Ask me something. What's up with
Start a whole
y'all?
nother segment called Ask Elquan.
My man IQ, man. Man, dog. This is great. I love this whole experience. Thanks for taking this time, dude. You know what I mean? This is real shit right here. You know what I mean? Because it takes a lot for up and coming artists to be able to get on certain platforms and to at least get that first break. You know, because a lot of times that's all it takes is somebody to just give them a chance
Mm.
and give them that first break. You know what I mean? So you know, you the first one that's gave me the interview uh since you know this new rollout of the album coming out, and I appreciate it for sure.
So
Oh, she
here's a good
said,
question. Yeah, what is your most favorite track you've ever made? Like, and why? What is your
okay,
favorite track and
my
why?
favorite track. I would say my favorite track would probably have to be Well Damn. You know what I mean? Like that Well Damn track was one of those hype joints, you know what I'm saying? Like it was catchy as hell. Um, I shot the video in Virginia with all my friends, you know, so it was a memorable time that I'll never forget. You know what I mean? And it was just one of those tracks, man, where everybody was just on it. Every time I performed it, I'd have the whole crowd saying, "Well, damn," you know what I mean? So it was
That's
tight,
dope.
bro.
That's a good
Yeah.
question. Do you write your own
She said,
music?
"You absolutely, yeah." I couldn't rap nobody else's stuff, man. You know, that's for one, that's not aligning with my brand. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it 100. So if I'm rapping on somebody else's stuff, I'm rapping somebody else's life, and I might as well change my name to that person's name. You feel me? So nah, I write my own shit. Yeah, I don't rap over nobody else's stuff. Do I perform around Vegas? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I literally just performed at Elevation Smoke Shop for Halloween. They have an event in there where it's like a smoking. They call it smoking word, and you can go in there and
Is that
rock
with
or
G
whatever. It's
minor?
like a private event.
Is that
G
with the homie G
minor.
minor?
I forgot the DJ's name, man. It's a Hispanic guy, Hispanic
Yeah,
DJ in
that's G
there. I forgot
minor.
his name.
That's definitely G minor.
Yeah,
That's
man.
that's the homie right there. Him and I were real, we're tight. Me and that
Yeah.
dude is tight.
Yeah, they have been hitting me in the DM asking me to come through for a while, but I always had my son on Thursdays, so I was never able to slide. But wifey had worked from home, and I was able to slide Halloween. Well, the day, couple days before Halloween, and I rocked that show. And I've done shows at downtown area in the scene, the Jam. They have the spot called the Jam. Uh, I've done shows at Brooklyn Bowl. I've done shows at the House of Blue. No, on the Strip. What is that? The Hard Rock. Yeah, I've done shows at the Hard Rock. And I plan on going even crazier this year. You know what I mean? Doing shows everywhere, all over town. So if they'll have me, I'm there rocking it. I don't care if it's one or two people in the crowd. I'm still gonna go crazy.
That's the way it's supposed to be, man. You got to be able to just do you, no matter who's watching. I remember us doing a show. I remember it was at the emergency room. Do you remember that show we did at the emergency room, like a very long time ago?
Emergency room. I was thinking a real emergency room. I'm like, damn,
no. There was a venue, right? There was a venue on. I believe it's on Decatur, like Decatur in Desert Inn, and we did. It was with Jay with Hall of Fame Records, and we did. Yes.
Oh yeah, I do remember that, dog.
Right.
I do. And I remember, man, you know what? We never used to get footage of our shit neither, man. That's major now. You know what I mean? Getting that footage of your performances and of shit that you do. Like everything needs to be documented, man. Everything.
Well, now we know.
Now we know. Yeah,
honestly, I wouldn't want to document any of that stuff from back then because, like, those are different times when I would hate for that to be out on the internet. That was, I don't know, man.
Learning experiences.
It's a blessing. Yep.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Man. Shout out to Jay.
Well, thank you again, man. Is it, if you wanted to go ahead and reiterate how they can find you, how they contact you.
Okay, yeah. Socials. Make sure y'all tap in. If you're on Instagram, it's real Elquan So 100. You can follow me on there, or you can follow my brand page, So 100 ENT, and that's the number 100, by the way. Twitter is Elquan So 100. So if you want to follow me on there, and yeah, man, Spotify, just type in Elquan. Apple Music, just type in Elquan. And let's connect, y'all. I love to hear from y'all. Love to hear your feedback on this interview, your feedback on my music, my videos. I just love to hear from you and get to know you. Much love to everybody.
Thank you, Elquan. Thank you so much, bro. Big shout out to the chat. Thank you for everybody that came through and asked questions and hung out and lurked. We love you guys, and I'll catch you soon. I'll see you next time.
Much
Real
love.
Elquan, man. Peace.